Labdog is an online framework to digitise any stepwise set of instructions. These are often referred to as lab scripts and are traditionally paper-based, given to students sometime before a lab. In Labdog, these instructions are presented to students one step at a time on their personal device.
As students were going through practical steps, it was clear that they weren't linking it to the underlying theory. And this is a common problem in chemistry education. They call it cookbook chemistry. So Labdog was conceived as a way of trying to engage the students more in the learning process and giving some structure to that.
We've noticed that the students are paying a lot more attention to the procedure that they're actually undertaking, and rather than just going straight through a laboratory session without really thinking what they're doing and just making sure that they get everything done by the end of the session, they're actually having to think about each step a lot more, which has been really, really good for their understanding. And it's been really helpful for us as well, because it allows us to see which elements of the lab that they don't quite get and which ones they get.
Labdog helps educators facilitate conceptual learning and metacognition by putting in questions at any point.
In particular, I can see students who are struggling with concepts, and of course the questions we ask them are targeted at the key concepts that we want them to take away from the practical. So where it's required, I can help the students to actually build up that underlying understanding. And it also means I can see who's really got a good grasp of things, and I can provide them with positive feedback as well, so that's a real benefit.
The more we speak about Labdog, the more excited we get about what Labdog can do in the future. We are seeing it's got incredible potential with the ability to provide feedback to individual students and groups of students, which makes the assessment process much more transparent, which is something that's been a really big problem with practical work, because how do you give a student a grade on practical work when you've got to you've got to watch 30 students at the same time do the same thing? And
one of the things we're working on at the moment is having a post-lab session. So obviously we've got the pre-lab, we've got the in-lab element, and the post-lab element is there to ensure that students reflect on what they've done in the lab and actually build it more into a continuum of learning, rather than just seeing it as this discrete thing that they do and then try and get out as quickly as possible, which is another thing the research tells us that students think about when they're doing practical work.
It makes them think, and that's why they're there. Even if they're not remembering that at the time, the reason they're there is to learn the chemistry that we're trying to teach them.
Yeah. For us, it's about getting the balance of making a software that's easy for them to use and that they enjoy using as much as they can, but at the same time doing what we know is best as education researchers and educators.